Welcome to The Buzz. We're going to have some fun, hear things you'll never hear anywhere else, and learn how to take 1 hour off your marathon PR. That may be an exaggeration, but I am Buzz Burrell, and we're going to have real conversations with the people who help define this amazing sport of running, which often feels like more than just a sport. So send me your questions and comments to buzz@ultrasignup.com so we can do this together. This is a production of Ultra Sign Up. Thank you for joining me. This episode is brought to you by Wahoo Kicker Run. Their sponsorship made this episode possible. Wahoo Kicker Run is a very high-end treadmill, a game changer for indoor training. It has run-free mode, so the belt automatically adjusts to your pace based on your position with no buttons or fuss. It's the closest thing to running outside without going outside. And you can train for running in the mountains because the automatic grade control mimics real-world terrain, shifting from a negative 3% decline to a steep 15% incline. In case you're wondering, I am a big proponent of treadmill training. I personally go to the gym once or twice a week in the winter and during inclement weather, and treadmills are great for tempo runs, for uphills, and they help improve your running form. So check out the Wahoo Kicker Run at wahoofitness.com. This episode is made possible by Victory, the makers of a clever insole for running shoes utilizing a carbon fiber plate. That's right, carbon fiber has changed the world of running shoes, and now instead of purchasing an expensive shoe, you can just buy an insole to put inside your regular shoe. Super shoes are expensive, they wear out, and most are built for roads, not the rocky terrain most ultra runners are actually training and racing on. Victory makes a high-mileage carbon-plated insole using a similar technology as super shoes. They're built to last over 1,000 miles, and they come with something super shoes do not, a 90-day money-back guarantee. So try them out. If they don't work for you, send them back and get your money back. Find these at vktry.com. Hey, Dan, what is the best trail run in the Alps?
Well, I got a special one for you because it's 9-in-1. The Via Valais. Well, you get 9 days for one trail run. We call it the Via Valais.
Oh, the Via Valais. Gotcha. Hey, everyone. We are talking with Dan Patitucci, who invented the Via Valais. We're going to hear about that more in the podcast. But first, let's get it updated. So, Dan, where are you right now?
I'm in Bishop, California.
And I think you live there part-time.
Yeah, we've recently come back to be half-time in the U.S. and half-time in Switzerland. So we lived in Bishop for like almost 10 years before moving over to Italy back in 2007.
Gotcha. And then after Italy, where I believe you married your wife, Janine, or at least she's and then you moved to Interlaken, Switzerland, where you still own a home.
Yep. Yeah, I know. Janine she's Swiss, but we met in Santa Barbara.
Oh.
We were both living in Santa Barbara in 1999. We hooked up there and then started kind of cast out in our business, living in a Volkswagen Westfalia for a couple of years, driving around the U.S., and we settled in Bishop. And so we were here for about 10 years, and then I was like, I want to live in Europe.
Well, this is what we're going to drill into, everybody, because Europe's kind of nice. The Alps are kind of nice. You're an expert on the topic. So again, I'm speaking with Dan Patitucci, professional photographer and guidebook author and a very good mountain athlete. And your website byline reads, "Professional photographers and mountain sports athletes producing content for the global outdoor industry." And that really about says it. You've done a lot of different things. So let's get into it here, Dan. Let's start with your commercial photography. You've been a professional photographer for Black Diamond, Patagonia, and you once said, these are the hero images. You know, this is what makes the products look terrific, makes people want to buy them, and it also makes people want to move to Switzerland. But this is sort of what it's paid the bills for a few decades, isn't it?
Yeah. Yeah. Well, we pulled it off. We came in at a good time. Times were
Hmm.
different then. And yeah, no, we came in at a good time, and we were a great team, and we had a lot of good luck, and we worked super hard for a long time. And but yeah, everything changed for sure in this industry. But we're still doing it, but in a very different way.
Well, I'd like to hear a little bit more about that, but first we'll go how it was back then, so to speak. In my opinion, you sort of invented what commercial mountain running photography looks like. There's that really long lens. There's a really nice looking person running up a trail with this insane mountain backdrop in the scene. I mean, that's kind of your look, would you say?
I think it started that way. Like when we were first shooting running, which was kind of by accident, because we started in climbing. Like we were just shooting climbing for a few years and did some trail running stuff kind of by accident. We were on a trail run in Indian Creek in a snowstorm, waiting for a tow truck to come and throw us away. And long story. And Janine made a photo of me running in the snow that Patagonia started using a lot, and it was in 2000. Before trail running was a thing, before seeing the photos were a thing, and pretty quickly it became kind of what we were doing. So going back to like the look, yeah, it kind of was that, but it evolved into just from like the big lens to now I'm like the laziest running photographer in the world. I shoot 99% of our running work with a Sony RX100, this tiny little camera that just goes right in the vest. And I don't carry a big camera anymore because I don't want to. And all of our photos are from runs. We don't do photo shoots hardly at all anymore. We only take work that's like go run for real and get us what you get.
Interesting.
Um, yeah, so we don't do the photo shoot stuff so much anymore. Here
Well,
and
they are
there.
well, the RX 1000 is really high quality glass, and so you get high quality images, but it doesn't have that 3 pound, 500 millimeter lens sticking out the end of an SLR.
No, it goes in where your water flask normally goes in your sleeve. And we were just in the Ventura Patagonia store a couple days ago, and there's a display in there that's like billboard size, like it's their big showpiece photo, and it's ours from an RX 100, and it looked great. So I mean, it was
Interesting.
blown up to 10 by 12 feet or something. It was huge.
10 by 12 feet. It's from your
Yeah,
pocket camera.
yeah, yeah, yeah. There's a little
Okay.
thing in Lightroom called supersize now.
Okay. Hot tip
Yeah,
for wannabe professional photographers. It's called
yeah, like a
super
not,
size.
yeah,
And so
supersize.
you can up the image and not lose the
Yep,
resolution.
yep. It works
Okay.
really well. Yeah,
A lot better than carrying these giant lenses around. But
yeah.
that's interesting. So you're just led by saying this, Dan. It's the past 26 years, it's changed completely. So what do you see it as now? Do you see it more race photography? Do you see it more, behind the scenes? Or what does the industry look like to you now?
I I need help with that. I ask that question all the time. I have no idea. We're pretty. We live in a bubble. Like we really do our own thing. We don't work for very many people. We still really work closely with Patagonia. That's I mean, we that's our work. And the reason is they just say, this is what we need. This is what we need shot. Go do it. And they just said, just be real. Just we want it to be real, and ideally not in good weather. And I mean, it's like they still hold on to this very realistic look, and that's who we are still too. When you look around at all the photography that's out there these days, from Solomon and the North Face and a lot of these brands, it's all this blurry, dark, weird, moody stuff, and like we're not going to do that. Like it's just so not our style. And it's just a fad. Like we've seen all these things come and go, but what's not a fad is real. Just like I'm going to stick to real. It
Yep.
comes and goes, but yeah,
Well, that's a takeaway, Dan. What is not a fad is what is real, and I think most
yeah,
runners would concur with that sentiment.
yeah. But now, I mean, these days, geez, everybody like is using the same exact photography, but it's not real.
I appreciate it. I'm making a note of this for myself. Um, and some of your people it's been your main, let's say, models. I mean, like you said, to say they're a model is a little difficult because you see some of the big brands, particularly the big consumer brands, and these are literal models. These people aren't runners, climbers, or skiers. Obviously, I mean, you're looking at it it's a little cringeworthy. It's like, whoa, no, I don't think so. But that's not what you do. I mean, you worked with some really good people. And of course, I have to mention Ueli Steck. I mean, oh my gosh, he was one of the best mountaineers in the world. And he did some trail running. And pardon me, but he died in an avalanche. So rest in peace, Ueli. But he was a good friend of yours. And that's a good example of the type of person you would work with.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, yeah, Uli was. I got to know him from a photo shoot for Mountain Hardware back in I think 2009, and we became super good friends, like from the very first day. Um, and he was Swiss, and Janine is Swiss, and we were in the process of considering moving to Switzerland, so we would go and visit him and do things, and that's how we ended up in Interlaken because he was there,
Uh,
and then once we were living there, yeah, he and I we did everything together. We trained together, ran together all the time. I was his like go-to photographer for different things locally, and then I went on 3 expeditions with him. I was with him on Annapurna when he did that, um, and he's the one who got me into the Sony RX100 because first I was like, well, okay, I can't shoot the Canon system, with the big lenses with Ueli because you can't carry them. So I was like, okay, so I got a Sony A7, and even that was a little bit big. So then I got the RX100, and I was like, okay, this is gonna do it because I can be quick. So because Ueli had a rule that I couldn't ask him to pose. He was just not into it. So but he would pause. So I would say, "Oi, slow down," and I'd run ahead. I would see something, and I would turn around. I'd pull my camera out, and I'd shoot him. And that was kind of how the Sony RX100 became my go-to camera because it's perfect for him. And yeah, it worked
well,
great.
Well, Dan, that's a great story. So I hope listeners know that Ueli Steck was truly one of the best mountaineers in the world. I mean, the light and fast style all the way. He has records and FKTs all over the place. And, the Eiger Nordwand, the North Face of the Eiger, et cetera. I mean, the list would go on for pages and pages. So, Dan, you're a fit guy because if you're running ahead of Ueli to get a photo, is he's not going to, run back and forth 10 times is the feeling I'm getting here.
No,
I like it. I like it. Like you said, it's real. He's going to pause. He's willing to do that, but he's
well, his
not going
phone
to.
rang a lot. His phone rang a lot, and that was I always hoped for that phone to ring. Because when his phone would ring, he'd always grumble and he'd look and he'd be, I gotta take this. And now's my opportunity. So I'd go find something, and then when he hung up, then he'd come running back, to where I would be, and I would be ready with a shot. That it was definitely the tactic.
Excellent tactic because to keep
Yeah.
up with the Swiss machine, as he was called. I mean, Dan, you're a good athlete, but keeping up with Ueli Steck might have been a bit challenging.
Yeah. Yeah. Running, I could hold my own, but in the mountains, no chance. No chance. Yeah.
And then recently, meaning from our perspective, for the past 10 years, Kim Strom. Now, Kim, that's a female, by the way. And when I think of a picture of someone running in the mountains, I mean, there's Kim. That's all I can think of. I mean, Kim is excellent runner. Her form is flawless. You've captured her in front of like every great mountain range in the world. And so Kim has been one of your collaborators, a partner in the business now for 10 years.
Yeah. She came into our business in 2016. So it's been 10 years this year. And we met on a photo shoot. It was a brand thing where we ran from Germany from Garmisch to Merano, Italy. And I didn't know any of the athletes that were in the shoot, and we had to really do this run. And she was, I thought she was French. She was listed as French. And when I met her, suddenly this like Midwestern girl is in front of me, and I remember thinking, like, "You're not French." She goes, "No, no, I live there." But so we became like instantly best friends. I mean, we were just instantly like we gelled perfectly. And over the course of this run, I learned that she was unemployed, had tons of free time, had a degree in photography, creative writing, graphic design. And I was like, "You have time on your hands." So we invited her to come and stay with us. And we did some sort of a project. I don't even remember what it was. And it was just great. It was some magazine thing or something. And she wrote the article. And all of a sudden, for a while there, before the magazines all died, we were getting all kinds of editorial assignments together. You know, we went to Bulgaria and Kyrgyzstan and Nepal and all different places where she was writing these stories, and we would do the photos, and it was great. And the magazines kind of went away, and we have the running guidebook, and I mean, it all snowballed into this kind of new life we have now. And in that time period, Janine, my wife, retired from photography. So she said, "That's enough. I'm done. We're kind of aging out." And she started to manage some Airbnbs that we have in Switzerland. We have two Airbnbs in Interlaken. So she does
Great.
that now full time. And Kim
And
took over. Yeah.
Kim still looks good. Kim makes it look good.
Yeah, she looks good. And I mean, we're best friends. Like she's like, we just built a house in Bishop, Janine and I, but Kim is also an owner of the house. So we made the house. So actually four different people live here. And so we have a friend living in like a studio, and then Kim is here, and then Janine and I. And
Excellent.
we,
Excellent.
yeah, we work together every day. We run together.
Well,
We
well, well,
socialize.
thanks for catching me up. And the listeners can see these photos of Kim because we're going to get to the heart of this conversation, Dan, because we have to tell people about Alps Insight. I mean, this is an extraordinary resource. So get out your pencil and paper, go on the web, elevation.alpsinsight.com. If you're ever going to the Alps, I mean,
Well, the easiest place to send people is All Mountain Collective.
that's your new website.
Yeah, because that's got all three of our sites now.
Okay, you've evolved it. So it'll just catch people up. So you start with Alps, then the Eastern Sierra Nevada in California and Nepal. And now all three locations are under the All Mountain Collective, and that's simply allmountaincollective.com. Thank you. That's the best place to go. And I'm just calling this out. This is a fantastic resource.
Thanks.
And just adding further context, you published a couple of books. The first one, I think, is called 30 Must-Do Trail Runs in the Swiss Alps with Kim and Doug Mayer. And then your more recent one is Sarah Trail Runs, A Guide to the East Side.
Mm-hmm.
These are actual printed books. And then, of course, as you mentioned, the All Mountain Collective, where listeners, you can go and find a very organized list with photos and GPX tracks of the best runs in these areas.
Yeah, it's been 10 years of work on these sites. And it started really as like a labor of love, and then I was playing with it on my own before even Kim. But then we did the Swiss Alps book, and when we did that, we did 30 runs, and the GPX tracks had to live somewhere for download for people that bought the book. So we put them on ALPSinsight. So that it kind of required that ALPSinsight be around. But then we had done a few other runs, well, quite a few that didn't go into the book. So we thought, well, why don't we put them on the website? So we tweaked them a little bit, made them better, put them on the website. And then the year after we did the book, Swiss Tourism hired us to do 25 runs for their website. So we got to come up with another 25 runs, which could live on our site and on their site. All of a sudden, we had more runs. And then the Graubünden region of Switzerland hired us to do, I think, 20 runs in their region. So those went on the site. So the site's growing. And then we just started doing our own thing and adding peak climbs. And I think we're up to like 140 runs now.
and, and I just want to, sorry, I want to just keep talking about this because I travel quite a bit. I like doing these sort of things. And I found that the organization of your website is the best I've ever seen. I don't want a bunch of text. I want a little bit of context. And then I want, the map. Where is it? How do you get there? How high is it? And then on the website, one can download the GPX track. And as you know, I've purchased many GPX tracks from your website. And it's great. Download the track, put it in my phone, go anywhere you want, look at your phone. There's a little blue dot, and there I am on following this little line.
Yeah. Yeah.
What a deal. Thanks, Dan.
Thank you. And Kim, remember, graphic designer?
Kim.
Yeah. She also has a lot of web skills. So, yeah, that was like the layout, all of that was her. So she did a great job. The website has not changed in 10 years. It's like it's got this timeless kind of look, and the organization and the simplicity is really efficient.
It is. And
Yeah.
here's another interesting aspect. You've broken it down so one can go there, and it's broken down by geography, like the Graubünden, which is towards St. Moritz, and so on and so forth. But you also have it broken down a little bit by difficulty because you've broken out what you call the way ups. The way ups mean it's steep. It's if you're from Miami, this might not be for you.
Yeah. Yeah. Tim has a formula. The trail has to basically, I think it's like go up 100 meters for every kilometer for the length of the run. So a lot of them are 2,000 meter gains in relatively short distances, like less than 20 kilometers. So I mean, we did a run right at the end of the summer last year, Les Pluiers, it was 2,000 meters of vert in 6K or something. It was insane. So we keep finding steeper and steeper things, and that's not even the steepest. There's that Fully run it's even steeper.
That's
So
very steep.
yeah, we have our way up. So we're like, is it way up? It's way up there, it's the way up. So somehow we came up with that for the term, but basically it's big vert days or peak climb or both.
Right. Right. Excellent. And then you noted the bar horn outside of Zermatt probably is the highest trail. Like in Colorado, we have trails that go like Pikes Peak goes 14,100 feet. That very uncommon in the Alps. The
Yep.
bar horn, which is one of your way ups, might be the highest trail run.
They call it the highest trail in the Alps. Yeah, it's 3,600 meters, I think, the summit, which I know, like we park at that here. But there might be a higher one now. I mean, Les Pluiers, there's a trail to the summit of this thing. And it's higher. It's like 38 or something.
Okay.
So it's just not an official trail. That's the deal in Switzerland is Barhorn is an official trail. The Les Pluiers trail is worn in from base jumpers. So
Base
yeah,
jumpers.
it's a full trail to the top, but it's wingsuiters and base jumpers.
Okay. Well,
Yeah.
we're not going to do that, are we?
No, we ran down.
And we're going to run down.
Yeah.
It takes a little more time, a little harder on your knees, but you will live to tell about it.
Yeah. Yeah. And it was actually surprisingly good for how steep it was.
Surprising what?
Surprisingly good. We thought we were intimidated like at the numbers and looking at it, you say, there's a trail up this thing. And it's beautiful. Like it's a beautiful, nice, smooth trail to the top. And you can run almost the entire down.
And Dan, come again, repeat the name of the mountain.
Les Pluiers. And
How would
it's
that be
on our
spelled?
website.
Oh, it's on the
Uh,
website.
yep, yep. It's LE and then another word, Pleureur.
Thank you. Oh, that's okay. Gotcha.
Yeah, I think it means like the tears.
Excellent. Thanks for the tip on that. And at the beginning of this podcast, you mentioned the Via Valais, which you invented. And so you've, like you said, what's the word? You've been there at the right time. You're a creative person. Been a little lucky. Christopher Solomon did this trip, wrote about it for Outside Magazine very, very positively. And now the Via Valais is I think, one of the standard group running tour trips that is done in the Alps, going kind of from Verbier to Zermatt.
Yeah, yeah. It's for sure like if like what if you paint your masterpiece, I guess that was it. It was truly like we love this thing. And it came about because we had done all those runs for the book in 17 in the Valais region. And the Valais, like Janine and I knew that that's Mecca. Like there's no better trail running, maybe in the world than the Valais. It's just made for running.
Okay, let me just fill this in. I, of
Yeah.
course, know what you're talking about,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
just to fill it in, Valais is one of the cantons officially of Switzerland, and it's the one that you could say encompasses just it's around the Matterhorn and a little bit to the west of the Matterhorn. Would that be a good way of describing it?
Yeah, it's from like Monte Rosa, Matterhorn. It's the spine of the 4,000-meter peaks. It's like the business of the Alps, right? Like
The-
it's where all the big famous peaks are between Chamonix and Zermatt-Saspe, kind of that area.
Gotcha.
And it's broken into the German part, which is the Valais, and the French part, the Valais. And so it's they speak both languages there, and there's a dividing line. And the nature of the geography or geology is it's a lot of gneiss. They say in Europe, I guess we say gneiss. Um, and it crunches really well, and it turns into this like smooth trail. So the trails have this incredible soft, smooth texture to them with very few roots or bumps, and they just carve into the hillsides beautifully. And you almost are guaranteed to run a good trail when you run there. Whereas in the Berner Oberland where I live, you need to know the good trails because they're not all good. In the Graubünden, it's the same. They're not all good. You have to know the good trails. In the Valais, you can pretty much assume you're going to be on an amazing trail.
Just walk out
So
the door.
yeah, so and the culture is cool, like the French culture and the huts and just the way it's laid out in these valleys. It's idyllic. So we had done all these runs there for the book and got to know it super well. A lot of the runs we ended up doing multiple times for photos, or we changed things. Like we would do some runs, we'd be like, ah, that didn't work. Let's try this trail or that trail. And so we got to know it really well. And after the book, Tim, Shanine, and I kind of realized, like, well, what if we connected all the good trails somehow to Zermatt from somewhere? We didn't know where that would be yet. We kind of thought Chamonix, but that complicates things to get out of Chamonix Valley. So Janine is like the master map kind of studier, and she really looked at it. And we all talked about what might work, and we found this kind of random place in Switzerland, in the Valais to Zermatt. And it would be perfect. So we went, and with two friends, we ran that in 2018. And we did it in like a 6-day push, and it was great. But we thought, this random place, you can't have like random place to Zermatt. So we had to come up with a better start. So we found this trail in Verbier, and it took us about a month to link some tent sections because there were some little mystery areas. And we tried this trail, that trail, and this trail, and that trail. And finally, literally as a storm was rolling in with the first big snowfall, we found this key trail that would link two sections from Eveline to Bec de Bosson. And and it was done. We like found the mystery link, and then we went back and we ran the whole thing, and it was perfect. So
Excellent.
it's a 9-day tour from Verbier to Zermatt.
And that's how you led off this podcast when I asked you
Yep.
what the best trail run. You said it's a 9 for 1. That's what you meant.
Yeah.
9 days, one trail. The
Yep.
Via. So it's 2 words, folks. Via Valais, which is the name of the Swiss canton. So it has a nice ring to it. And it's a good marketing term, if I may say. But you also worked at it. You studied the route. So you put together
Yeah.
something that you really liked. And it is for runners. That's kind of the emphasis here. You wanted every step of it to be runnable, no slogging, no tailless slopes. You can cruise it if
Yeah.
if you're really
It,
fit.
yeah. It parallels the Haute route, the summer Haute route. So you have the Haute route, the ski Haute route, which is up high on glaciers to keep you high in skiing and staying in specific huts for the ski Haute route. And then there's the summer Haute route, which is the hiker's Haute route, which basically just goes, as you know, from Chamonix up and over all. It just tries to kind of beeline it to Zermatt. But it's too steep. It's too steep. It's a hiking trail. So we really tried to go in and out of the valleys to contour the terrain to make it more runnable. And we wanted to minimize our time on the Haute route so it'd be an independent line. And we really don't like one of the huts on the Haute route, so we didn't want to go there, which
Actually, a
complicated it.
quick a quick intersection here. So what hut don't you like? Just for my own personal reference, if nothing else.
In the summertime, the Proflerie hut is
Oh, the
not nice.
Plafferie. Yeah,
Yeah.
gotcha. Mhm.
Yeah, it's in that like hole and it's an old mining area. It's kind of a dump.
It's kind of a
Yeah,
dump. It's like a gravel pit.
yeah, exactly. So
And
that
by
was
the
one of
way,
the
that's
biggest problems.
just getting around the Plafferie hut.
Getting around Proflerie, biggest single problem we had.
Oh, I didn't know
But we
that.
found this great way around the end of like from one valley to another, and then you stay in a private hut. Um, that's super nice. Like it's just like really friendly and it's small. Um, so that was the ticket. But we tried staying in like other places and it just didn't work. And that was it. Ultimately we just had to make it longer. So we added quite a few kilometers to get around these problems.
Gotcha. Interesting. Well, Plafferie, I mean, the hut itself is nice, but turns out that big excavation was for the dam at the Deeks Reservoir. So
Yeah.
that's what that is. And so it's
Yeah.
not super scenic when not covered with
No.
snow.
In the winter, when you do the skiers coat route, it's great because you don't see that stuff. But yeah, in summertime, it's not so great.
A clarification that you mentioned, Dan, which I'm keen on. The original Haute route is the skier's Haute route, and that is a pretty straight line between the two most famous mountain towns in the world, almost, certainly the Alps, Chamonix, France, and Zermatt, Switzerland, at the foot of Mont Blanc and at the foot of the Matterhorn. Uber classic. And the skier's high route is really a good line, but you got to be a good skier. I mean, this is not casual stuff.
Yeah.
It has certainly been run. You have run it with Kim in the summer, but then, wow, you're crossing glaciers, there's crevasses, it's a whole scene. And so I think it was the Brits who invented the summer high route.
Yeah.
I'm annoyed with this greatly because they sort of appropriated the name and that it's a completely different line. It has nothing to do with the whole route. And as
Right.
you say, it goes in and out of every valley, up, down, up, down, up, down. It's fine. People, 10,000 people maybe do this every summer, but it's not a great line in my opinion, and apparently
No.
not in your opinion either.
No. I mean, it's for hikers. It's going to get you to Zermatt pretty fast. It's going to get you faster than any other way. Because yeah, if you go higher, the glaciers are a pain in the butt and complicated. And if you do our route, it's even more. So it's the most direct way. But yeah, it's okay. But yeah, it's hiking. Yeah. It was our first, it was the first thing I really did in the Alps, I think. We had an assignment to do it in 2002, I think. And that was kind of it. Like, and I loved it because I hadn't done other stuff in the Alps before.
Excellent. Gotcha. Well, thank you for that story of how it was created. And as you know, I have my roots. I named Zermanie, Zermatt du Chamonix. That is a little bit in between. So I'm advocating for this as the most direct and non technical, but you have to be on snow. So it's kind of, uh, not for everyone either.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, as soon as you get on the glaciers there, it changes everything.
It does. Speaking
Everything.
of which, let's do some interesting comparables here. So you have part of the All Mountain Collective is Nepal. Nepal is a lot different, a little different culture, et cetera, et cetera. And of course, the world's biggest mountain's the Himalaya. So what do you see in the Himalaya? I mean, are people still going to Nepal for trail running? I mean, what are you seeing? I've been there a couple times, but it's been probably 15 years.
Yeah, it like what's going on? Like our guidebook is specifically for the Khumbu Valley in the Everest region, and it's definitely become there's one village that's become a hotspot, but less for trail runners and more for alpinists that are training and acclimating. So to me, that's a fascinating kind of story, like how all of this came about was Janine and I started going to Nepal once or twice a year in like 2010, and I fell head over heels in love with this place. And so we were going over, and then in 2000, I think 14, we went with Ueli to Nuptse and Ueli and Colin Haley. We all flew over, and Janine and I hiked the Three Passes route in to meet those guys. And so we did that. And then Colin had gotten super sick and stayed low, and Uli was in this place called Zongla. So we met Uli there, and I was just like, Uli, this Three Passes thing we just did is like it would make the perfect trail run. It's the most perfect trail run there is, but and it's hard. And so anyway, one thing led to another, and this village called Chukung, which sits either it could be the very end of Three Passes or the start of Three Passes, because it's just on one side of the Three Passes. Um, it's got this lodge called the Kangri Resort, and the family that runs it became friends, and it's a Sherpa family, and it became like home away from home. But Uli went there. It's as like a training camp with with a German alpinist named David Gotler, and so we would all go there and stay and just run from this village. And then Uli and David did three passes before me, and they did it back to Namche from Chukung, and they were like, "Ah, it's so good," and then I don't
Um,
like,
Dan, let me again, I'm familiar with the place, but let's
yeah,
make
I
sure other
know,
people understand this. The Khumbu Valley is what you said, which
yeah,
is legendary. That's the southern approach to Mount Everest, Chomolungma, Sagarmatha. The northern approach coming in from Tibet, that's a different valley. And the Khumbu is known for being in Nepal, and this is the home of the famous Sherpas. The Sherpas, which simply means in Tibetan language, people of the south. Sher, south, pa is people. And so this has a legendary location for alpinism, for not alpinism, really for huge mountain, big mountain climbing, high altitude mountaineering. And what you have done is popularized it or at least brought attention to it as a place for trail running. They have the trails and they're gorgeous. Let me ask you this. So we mentioned the Swiss mountain huts, legendary, fine red wine, wild picked mushroom soup for dinner versus Dalbot and the tea houses. So, I mean, how do we compare the experience on the ground for the person who's
yeah,
going to go to these two places?
yeah. I mean, the system is the same, but the quality is a little different. I mean, the infrastructure is the same, and the mountains are the same. Mountains are mountains. They're mountains. You have trails. You've got weather. You have good days. You have bad days. But then you have this hut system. You have a lot more to choose from in Nepal. But they're all kind of more or less the same. But yeah, the food is it's gotten so much better, like in the last 10 years. It's light years better than it used to be. cleaner, and it's everything has gotten better.
So if I'm going to
Um,
go there, I'm not going to get Dalbot at 10 a.m. and
no,
Dalbot
you
at
probably
7.
will.
Okay.
I mean, you certainly can because the Nepalis still do. But now, yeah, I mean, every menu is pretty much the same in all the lodges.
Ah,
Spaghetti and your pizzas and all that, egg fried
okay.
noodles and your dalbot. Dalbot, by the way, is what the Nepali eat for lunch and dinner and even breakfast at times. Um, and it's a mix of like a lentil soup, some curry vegetables, and rice.
Right.
And that's just what they eat. And it's got everything and it's good. But yeah, we can't do it for 3 meals a day. But yeah,
Right.
but the system there, it's got everything in place. You don't have
Okay.
you don't have to carry anything if you don't want to.
So it's the
You
same thing.
can,
You go with the light pack, snacks, your own gear, and you come. So you mentioned the word lodge. We used to say they're tea houses, but now
tea
you can
house.
call it a lodge. Now they're more commercially oriented. It's not some shepherd saying, yeah, you can sleep
No,
out there with the yaks.
no, they're beautiful now. Some of them are really nice. Yeah, they have Wi-Fi, yeah, showers. Not all of them. But yeah,
Okay.
they've upped it. They've upped because they've gotten competitive, with each other, and there's so many people there now going.
Okay.
But the main trail up the Khumbu Valley is the Everest Trail. And we like in the runs we do, we mostly are off to the side because we try not to use the Everest Trail because it's so busy.
Gotcha.
So,
What
and
about politically? I mean, Nepal has been very dynamic. Is it calmed down? And if we're a Westerner, is it safe to go to Nepal by yourself?
yeah, I mean, I feel safer in Nepal than anywhere else. And the most amazing thing about Nepal is a woman can travel there alone in the mountains and feel safe. And I say that because I've seen it so many times. And I mean, I've gone there alone. I've flown over to meet friends up there, and I've slowly made my way up and had a great time and met so many other single travelers and feel
Okay.
completely safe. The
Excellent.
Nepali people are just they're incredibly friendly and gentle and kind.
Excellent.
So times have changed, yeah, from like the Maoist days and
Okay. Okay, very good. Because, the country basically is Hindu. But as soon as you go up the hills, that shifts. And as soon as you go up the mountains, it's essentially a Buddhist country,
yeah,
culture. And the
yeah,
Buddhists, or I should say the Tibetans, not the Buddhists, but the Tibetan Buddhists, are somewhat matrilineal. And
mhm,
so land is passed down through the female, not through the male. And so they do support females.
yeah. So it just has to be experienced. Like you
Okay.
can, yeah, it's so friendly and it's so easy to travel there.
All right. And it's cheaper than Switzerland, that's for sure.
Cheaper than Switzerland.
Everything's cheaper than Switzerland.
Not America these days.
Oh, really?
Bishop, California is more expensive than Switzerland, considerably.
Wow.
Yeah.
This is revelatory. Let's switch gears here now. Let's go to your current home in Bishop, California, which is the east side of the Sierras. It's in the Owens Valley, that big kind of dry valley, pardon me, that was fabledly described in Chinatown with Jack Nicholson and uh, I forgot the famous female actor now, but when they they bought water out of the Owens Valley and took it to Los Angeles. But the Sierras are just rearing up right there. And because it's a fault block mountain range, they're much steeper, much quicker access in the east side. And so while the west side has a very gradual peneplain going down towards the Great Central Valley, the eastern Sierra just rears right up. So you can be down relatively low where there's no snow and then just crank up into the mountains very quickly.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, from town, you have to excuse me. Like I've completely switched to metric like 20 some years ago. So I don't even know feet in like the imperial system anymore. I mean, because once you switch, you're just like, well, this is so much better that I'm not going to even bother with feet anymore. But we can drive to, I think, 10,000 feet. Um, like it's just right above town, and then boom, you can go to almost 14,000 feet, like right here in Bishop, pretty quick. But Bishop's at, I think, 4,000 feet, and we have a 14,000-foot peak right above town. So it's 10,000 feet of vertical above town.
And fairly dry, and if I may
Super
say
dry.
so, super dry. And in the summer, unlike Colorado, there's much less thunderstorms in the afternoon. I
Yeah.
mean, Colorado is a great state, the highest state in the United States by far, but they get those boomers coming in every afternoon. Not so much in the Sierras. They stay pretty calm in the summer.
Yeah, there's usually there will be thunderstorm cycles, and there's a monsoon cycle actually that comes in, but yeah, it's not like Colorado or even the Alps where you just get these super. I mean, they're violent, but you just seem to have more time here. Like they're just, yeah, they don't happen as often. But when they
Gotcha.
do, they're and you're stuck in them. They're nasty. Yeah,
Electrocution is no fun.
yeah,
And comparing again, you obviously have really good granite. You mentioned in the Valais canton of Switzerland, the gneiss, by the way, that's spelled Gneis. It's a metamorphic form of igneous rock, very hard rock. Like you said, it decomposes in these nice little crystals instead of fine particles, which forms mud. It's a larger crystal, and so water drains out of it, so it kind of doesn't get muddy. The Sierras are this very high quality granite. John Muir called it the range of light.
yeah. The Sierra are, well, I guess to preface this, we were living in Switzerland. Everything was great. Um, Kim had been living at our house, gets cancer. And the way things worked out was she had to come back to the US. She was losing her visa, like this terrible time. She has to come back. She moves with family in California and starts cancer treatment. And this was like impetus for Janine and I to come back to California because we came and we helped her out. So while she was in treatment, we came and stayed with her and helped her out. And we thought, let's take her on a road trip during her chemo cycle where she had these windows where she was feeling good. So we brought her to Bishop. She'd never been to Bishop. And we wanted to visit old friends and show her the place because she was gonna live in California after this. So Shanine and I were like, we came back to Bishop and we thought, this is still home. Like we hadn't really been here so much, like in the last 20 years, and we just slotted right back into our community with our friends and fell back in love with Sierra, and it just hit me like this is where I belong. This is home. Um,
Interesting.
yeah,
Okay.
and then with a really good friend, Yardis Rickert, we decided to do the Sierra Trail Runs book. So the four of us, we did that book on the back end of Kim's treatment. So Kim was making her comeback, and we did the book. And that following summer, we just kind of lived in the Sierra running,
Okay.
and and that was her motivation to come back.
All right. And again, everyone, it's called Sierra Trail Runs, a guide to the east side specific, the dry side, the steep side, and the very accessible side. And if you want to do mountaineering, certainly the best side, climbing, et
Yeah,
cetera, et cetera.
yeah,
The east side has got legendary alpine rock climbs.
yeah. Huge granite climbs,
Right.
tons of them.
But no huts. Okay, we got
But
to
no,
switch. We have to note. So in Nepal, there's a bazillion lodges, as they're all called. And of course, the Alps also have a lot of huts. I think just Switzerland has over 200
yeah,
huts.
yeah. Well,
Yeah,
Swiss Alpine Club Hut. Then there's
yeah,
private.
the official plus the private.
Yeah,
I think we're close to zero in the Eastern Sierra.
yeah.
There's some in Yosemite. There's like 3 in Yosemite, but other than that, you're running, you're carrying some stuff on your back, the food that you'll be needing. Water, personally, when I'm in the Sierras, I just drink out of the
I
streams.
just
Am
drink
I
it. I did it today. Yeah. Yep.
okay? I just thought I'd check
Yeah.
and don't want to give bad advice to our listeners. So I'm glad to hear you confirm that.
Yep.
So it's a little different in the Sierras. But
Yeah.
wait a minute. Wait a minute. You said something. What do you mean that it's more expensive in Bishop, of all places, than Switzerland?
Oh, yeah. Don't get me started. I mean, going to the grocery store here is like you have to take a loan. Like it's insane, and like the quality of the food is so bad compared to Europe, and and Swiss groceries are so cheap compared to here.
Hmm.
This is how it
Interesting.
is. The Eastern Sierra has gotten really expensive. You go to dinner, and it's not any different than Switzerland. The gas is a
Wow.
little cheaper here. That's about it.
Wow. Very
Yeah,
interesting.
yeah.
Huh. Hmm. Well, Switzerland is obviously the Alps, high glaciers, etc., but it's really close. I mean, you go down the valley there. If you just go downstream in the river, go past Sion, which grows grapes. You get down to Martini. There's fruit, peaches,
Hmm.
apricots. You don't get a lot of peaches or apricots in the Owens Valley.
Right out my window, there's a persimmon tree and an apple tree and a pear tree and a peach tree.
Did you plant them?
Yeah,
Okay, well.
that they produce. Like all of our friends have them, and they're yeah. Fruit trees are they go wild here.
Okay,
The Owens Valley, where Bishop is, used to be orchard before LA took
really.
all the water. Yeah,
Uh-huh.
yeah,
Okay.
it's crazy.
Before
The old
LA took the
photos of
water.
orchards,
Okay, I'm glad you're trying to reestablish it on a small scale.
very small scale.
The other aspect, of course, is there's no trains. I mean, you go to Switzerland, I mean, having a car is pointless. This is a total waste of time. Just take a train. There's incredibly fast, comfortable, totally organized, not surprisingly. And they convert to buses at the end of the train. So you can take a bus almost anywhere you want to go. Well, if you're in California, if you're in the Sierras, you need a car. Otherwise, you're not going anywhere.
You're not getting anything done. No, it's ridiculous. Like we have driven more, like spent more time in a car than we do running. Like we'll drive 20 miles to do a 10-mile run. It's crazy. And that's just what it is. And we did something the other day. We had to drive on a horrible four-wheel drive road for an hour to get to a trailhead, which I like. It's just what it is here. And because where you park is fantastic. And when you get back down to the car, it's fantastic. You just have a long, bumpy period.
Right,
The
right.
life here is so different. I mean, it's so different. And I always compare, and I always, I'll laugh at one thing, criticize another, because all my comparisons. And how could I not? Yeah, I've lived in 3 countries in the last 20 years, and it's a fun little thing to do. But we have taco trucks here, and that just
You have a
makes
taco
things.
truck,
We have many taco trucks, and
many taco trucks. Okay,
yeah, this is
so
a
that's the
big
thing.
plus for the Eastern Sierra.
Okay, so the Eastern Sierra, you don't go to the chocolateria, you don't go to the tea shop and get dalbat, you go to the taco truck.
You go to the taco truck. Yeah,
All right, I'll keep that in mind.
yeah,
and um and you go to wilderness areas. Speaking of the differences, I mean, the Alps kind of don't have wilderness. There's
Europe.
something
Yeah,
everywhere. Well, the United States, we're into wilderness. Well, at least
yeah,
most of us are, present
love it.
administration, somewhat accepted. And so that's a big difference. No huts, but that also means you can go up there and it's pretty wild.
Yeah. No, it's seriously like that's the reason why I wanted to come back was when you live in the Alps, but you're from a different mountain range. For me, the Alps started to get very small and and there's something everywhere. Like you can't walk behind a rock without seeing a cow or somebody else. People everywhere. And it's changing. Like I did a guidebook, so I could be criticized for this, but they're really catering to mass tourism now, and they're just building infrastructure everywhere. The ski industry is changing. The winters are changing a lot, so there's less ski business. So they're trying to market now more for summer people, summer traffic, summer tourism. They're building zip lines and e-bike things everywhere, and it's too much. Like it's just too much. Like there's just stuff everywhere, and when you're used to wilderness, you come from wilderness, you start to really appreciate that. And coming back here is like, wow, it's amazing. Like the John Muir Trail, you go, 200 miles and you don't cross anything.
You're
And
right. The John
Yeah,
Muir Trail is the best long distance trail in the world.
it's amazing. Yeah,
223 miles. You do not cross a road of any kind.
yeah, yeah. I mean, him and I joined Killian on his States of Elevation project last year, and that was what he talked about. And he was only on his first day, and well, for him, the first day was a lot long distance, but he was just like, "There's nothing out here. Like, there's nothing out here. There's no service, phone service. You don't see anything. It's wilderness." And he immediately appreciated that so much. It was so cool to hear. And
Excellent.
it's what I treasure that. And yeah, like there are no events in the wilderness. There's very few people still. I mean, here everyone's saying how busy it is. And I'm like, no, no, you go to Europe, you'll see busy.
You don't know
Yeah.
busy.
Yeah, they're like, we saw 3 people today and you're complaining it's busy. Yeah.
All right. Well, what perspective you have. So let's run down the list, Dan. This is going to get interesting. Your recommendations for the best trails in these 3 areas that you're literally an expert on. Where shall we start? Let's start. We're just talking about the Eastern Sierra. So 2 recommendations for trails in the Eastern Sierras that our listeners would love to go to.
Um, I mean, we have this trail right outside of Bishop called the Druids,
The
and it's
Druids.
the Druids. It's just a low country. It's kind of like the Buttermilks, if you know the Buttermilks. It's like desert, big gold boulders all over the place, and sage, and but rolling beautiful hills. And we do this Druid trail 5 days a week sometimes. Like in the winter, we'll do it easily 5 days a week or more, and never get tired of it. And there's a whole network of trails, but it's not the Sierra. It's the kind of the side country, the lowlands. But if you go into the Sierra, I mean, the Druids just comes to mind because I just love it there. It's a happy place. Um, the keyhole kind of comes to mind in the Sierra is like a hard kind of adventure run that goes
Did you
up
call
the
it the
Lamar.
keyhole?
It's called the keyhole. And I don't, yeah, that one just kind of comes to mind because I want to go do it again soon. But it goes over the Lamarck Col. So it goes over like a 13,000-foot pass. And then it goes into a side canyon with no trails. And it's in like considered one of the most beautiful areas of the Sierra, the Darwin Canyon. But it goes up this path, and rather than going over the pass, there's a tunnel through the talus to the other side. And I mean, you don't have to do it, but you kind of logically get like funneled to this little spot in the talus. And you look, and there's a cave, and you go in, and you can actually go through the ridge, and you come out the other side, and that's the keyhole.
Wow. Is that in your
And
book?
it's in our book, yeah. And
Okay.
then you run out Paiute Pass, another trail.
Oh,
So
Paiute.
it's a
Yep.
big loop. Yeah,
Oh,
makes it
Paiute
fun.
is on the JMT. Close.
It's close, yeah.
Yeah.
But the Sierra, a lot of our routes are out and backs because everything's so big. Like there's not a lot of trails, there's not a lot of loops. So to get a big loop in the Sierra is nice. Well, I guess
Gotcha.
not such a big loop. You can do huge loops, but like a medium-sized loop. So the
Right.
keyhole's kind of special in that regard.
So the Druids, low country, as you say, good for off season above Bishop, and the Keyhole route, very
Yeah.
good. Now let's bump to the really big mountains, Nepal. What recommendations would you give there?
I mean, the three passes run gotta be the it's got to be the best run in the world, in my opinion. Like it,
Wow.
it's it's so hard, but it's so doable. It goes over 5,000 meter passes, and it crosses a little
Oh, hold
glacier.
back the truck up. I mean,
Yeah,
so that means you're going to 16,000 feet.
3 times. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. It's 60 kilometers, and I think it's got 4,000 meters of gain total, maybe 3,500. Not that much, but you go to 5,000 meters 3 times, and that takes a toll, massive toll. And and it crosses a little glacier. It crosses like an ice glacier and a rock glacier, so two different ones. And it just beats you up, and you just have to. It's this incredible lesson of managing your body and your kind of mental state.
So would you say for a really fit and ambitious person, this is one day?
Yeah, I mean, that was the goal, was to do it in one day. We finally did it. Took a couple tries. Um, but it could easily be done in, because there's lodges everywhere. You could do it in 2 days and 3 days, whatever, or you can bail out. Um, because after you go over each path, you have a bailout down to kind of the lower towns.
Gotcha.
So
Okay.
it's set up really well for running. That's
Wow.
what makes it so good. The trail is fantastic.
It's set up one of the best trail runs in the world from Dan Patitucci. That's quite the wreck. Do you
Yeah.
have anything else in Nepal that you would mention?
There's a run from Namche Bazaar we call the Kongde Ridge that we do it multiple times every time we're there, and it's just this really fun run from Namche that take you can go to a monastery, and you go to the Hillary Memorial up on this ridge that's just prayer flag long. I mean, it's just massive amount of prayer flags. Um, it's beautiful. It's just a beautiful lower level run.
And what's the name of the ridge?
Kongde,
Kun.
Con. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm thinking of there's one other one right next to it. Khunde, Khunde.
Gotcha.
Khunde. Hmm.
Thank you. Thank you. Well, this is interesting. Nepal is a little more off the beaten path than it used to be, but like you say, it's inexpensive. It's safe.
And there are a lot of runners there. So,
Oh,
so I never mentioned, like, you see a lot of runners there. The Nepali are running. There are a few women that have gotten like really into running, and they're guiding and they're training there. Um, but you see runners like quite a lot. And we've talked to some, and they're often there because of the races, like the Everest Marathon. So they go and they recce that, and they just kind of feel things out. We're often there in May, and the Everest Marathon is at the end of May, so there are a lot of runners going.
okay.
But I've been there in the fall and seen a lot as well.
And we should note, in case I think most people know this, but there's this thing called the monsoon. That's where the term originated, is in the Asian subcontinent. And so you don't go to Nepal in the summer. So it's a
Yeah,
good off season. You go
yeah,
there in spring, April into May. The monsoon will usually start toward the end of May. And then you're out of there. And then you can
yeah,
come back toward the end of September, into October. It starts to get too cold into November.
yeah. And I've spent a winter there before, and it was cold, but the days were great. The weather is almost the best. The nights were long and cold, but fun, like super fun. And there's no one there. And you just have to, not all the lodges are open, but you find a lodge wherever you need one. And so, but yeah, like October, November is kind of the prime time. It's
Right.
busy. It's a busy
Days are
place.
shorter, but the sky is clear.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. And then lastly, there's this place called the Alps. So what are the two, you already said the 9-for-1 deal, the Via Valais, the route that you created. Is there anything else that you would like to recommend to people?
Okay. So yeah, this one I gave some real thought to. That I would have to say my new favorite, because my old favorite was the Metzelhorn above Zermatt. And I love this. It's a peak, and I love this run. But we did this other
Let me,
one.
so the Mettelhorn's literally right out of town.
Yeah,
You go right up that little drainage pass. I
yeah,
forgot the name of that little mini
trip.
hotel there. You
Yeah,
turn right. Yeah. And you have this killer, just insane view.
view. Yeah, yeah, and the trail is amazing, and that whole run is so good, and the peak is super cool, and cross the little snowfield, and so that was always my favorite. I always said that was my favorite run in the Alps. But the new favorite, I think, might be L'Etoile.
The what?
Um, L'Etoile, it's called.
How do you
So it's
spell
a
that?
L and then apostrophe Etoile.
I don't
And
know
it
this.
It is above, you know where Arolla is?
Oh, yeah.
It starts in Arolla. So you go from Arolla up to the Agui Rouge hut, and from the Agui Rouge hut, there's a trail up this peak, L'Etoile, and it's amazing. The landscape is amazing, and the trail is incredible.
Okay.
And
Wow.
I just love that valley. That valley is fantastic. So that one,
Gotcha.
but there's,
So,
I mean, like you can't just say one trail. I mean, the Via Valais is so good. The Tour de Combin, we did this 4-day run, so good. That we also just did,
that's on your
and
website. That's a
that's
4-day. It's a loop
yeah,
around the Combin Massif.
yep, yep. And every day is phenomenal, phenomenal running.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
the
And
Val
you,
de Bon is consistently the best running in the Alps, I would
the,
say.
the what is?
The Val de Bon, it's a valley in the Valais, and that valley, almost everything there is 5-star. It's just stacked back there with quality. And that's
Gotcha.
kind of where the Via Valais starts, is Verbier is back there.
Right.
And it's just, it lends itself to running and it's gorgeous.
Okay. All right. Well, amazing tips. Should I ask you right now, because someone has to ask about this. You're Janine is Swiss national, and you have these books there, but there's this little town called Chamonix on the other side of Mount Blanc. You've been
Where?
there, Chamonix, yeah, where? And so, what's your comparison? What are you just going to say about Chamonix? Because people have to be thinking this.
Yeah, yeah. So yeah, Chamonix, Janine and I spent almost 2 years there, so we know it really well. Like that was the first place we kind of were thinking, this is where we'll live. We know Chamonix really well, and we're often there. Um, and we have a Chamonix guide on our site. Like we did the online guide to Chamonix. But in my opinion, and it may not be popular, Chamonix is mediocre running, folks. It's a great place. The town is fantastic. The views are fantastic. It's so fun there because it's just a fun place. The French are great. But the running, come on, let's be honest. It's busy, it's rocky, the trails are kind of just overrun. It's a place to go make Instagram photos, and to
Whoa.
and to go see who's there, go be part of the social scene. But I mean, if you want to run trails, come on, go over the hill. Like it's just so much better on the other side.
Okay, well, we hope Doug Mayer does not listen to this podcast, but he does.
Yeah.
So, but you're friends with Doug, so I think he can take it.
Yeah, I mean, it's honest. I mean, so many people say that, but yeah, I mean, it's like, yeah, I have guidebooks I want to sell too, but let's just it's reality. But Chamonix is phenomenal. I mean, at the same time, it's
Right.
so much fun there. That's the
Yeah. I
thing
mean,
about
you
Chamonix.
you drop into Chamonix, you're going to see someone you know, or someone you want to know,
Yeah,
or someone you
and
will know.
town is fun. Yeah,
Hmm.
because the Swiss, I mean, okay, let's be honest, the Swiss are not so much fun. So you go over, you have the trade-offs, right? Chamonix is
Okay.
so fun, and yeah, you go over the hill, and fun drops off, but the running improves. So
Wow. So we're getting it, folks, straight from the guy who knows this better than anybody else. So the trails over in the Cham side, in spite of, this little thing called UTMB, the Marathon du Mont Blanc, et cetera, et cetera. Trails are a little rocky. You're in this valley. So you're kind of going up or down the valley.
it's super
Loop
limited. Yeah.
loops are kind of a major undertaking. So you're
Hmm.
sort of going Belson Nord, Belson Sud, stuff like that. But as soon as you bump over the other side, you got loops, you got summits, you have a whole other scene. But the French are fun, they're lively. It's a little bit of a party town, if I could say
It's
that.
so much
You
fun.
you bump over to the other side, the Swiss, let's say, are organized.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, where they excel at some things, they're a little lacking in others. Yeah.
Excellent, Dan. Well, these are super hot tips. Hope everyone picked up on this, and we'll go to the allmountaincollective.com website for the best information you've ever seen on the Alps, and now Nepal, and now the Eastern Sierras. And lastly, Dan, are we going to see each other sometime this July?
I hope so. I'll be back. I'll be back in Europe in July. So I know plans have been made. So we'll see.
Excellent.
A very good idea has formulated.
I hope to do it together. Thanks
Yeah.
so much, Dan.
Thank you. Yeah, thanks, Buzz.
Thank you for joining me. I feel like I'm with all my friends. This is Buzz Burrell, and I'll be back 2 weeks from today, delivering more thoughts you probably never heard before. This podcast is a production of Ultra Sign Up and releases every other Tuesday, alternating with The Trailhead with Zoe Rome and Brendan Leonard. If you've enjoyed this, please subscribe and click that button that says 5 stars, because that helps other people find this.